So we should be going live
Yeah,
and everything is set. Woohoo!
here we go.
Get it done, get it done.
Get
All
it
right.
done.
And welcome everyone. This is Into the Woods and this is Dwayne.
This is Danita. Hi, everyone.
And we're so happy that you guys are back with us for another episode
Mhm.
of Talk Time with the Woods. And this channel is called Into
Yeah.
the Woods. We are the Woods, and there are six of us that I keep saying. And Danita and I have been
Mhm.
talking with you for a good while now. And our hope is that as you identify with us, the things that we're going through, the conversations that we have, the situations that we're in, that you can then,
Mhm.
we can all figure out a way to get out of the woods together. Get it? Into the woods, out of
Yeah.
the woods.
Yep.
But anyway, welcome back to the show. So, Danita, what's going on with you this week?
Nothing. Another week down. And eat. Listen, guys. These weeks are getting easier and easier. Now they can't find stuff for me to do. Remember when we started with the new job? I was going crazy. Now
Mm-hmm.
they can't find things for me to do.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
it's an easy week.
Uh-huh. Well, good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
So you're enjoying hanging out and being in on the job.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, the frenzy is over.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. And
Hmm.
summer is winding down, so that's exciting.
Yeah,
You got
it is. It's
anything?
cold up here.
Sorry.
It's cold.
It's
The days are
cold.
cooler.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Dwayne, you remember the day after Labor Day? Like it would be warm, like the day before, and the day after it'd be cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that now.
Really?
It's that's the yeah, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All
So
right. Well, things are changing. I mean, it was, and
they are.
I guess there's a whole conversation of global warming, who believes it, who doesn't believe it, whatever. But these
Mhm.
days have been hot. I mean, this was like
Really,
it felt like 104, 105 degrees the last couple of days.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep,
And
yep.
you
So,
guys never get that temperature.
well, I
That's
mean, not
that's
that we never get it, but I mean, so consistently over such a long period, the last month or so, it's been hot. I go outside and my plants are like withering. They're,
Oh
I mean, it
my
looks like they're burnt.
God.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Oh,
burnt. So, yeah,
that's crazy.
but just trying to
So
stay.
New York is going to become Florida, and every place else is going to become New York.
It's gonna become the desert.
Everything's going to switch.
So, all right. So yeah. So this week was good for me. You know,
Hmm.
there are always things that happen, always things that go through the week. But for the most part, I had a good week. Work, my online stuff that I do. I think I've had
Hmm.
a good week. I was talking to you earlier before we went on. I came in, I had to
Hmm.
kind of get my head straight, and one of the
Hmm.
conversations. So when you have something that's going on and you talk to a friend, there are some times where you go and you talk to somebody and you just want support, right? You don't want
Hmm.
it to be explained. You don't want it to be, and it's not that you don't want a solution, but you don't want to
Hmm.
hear at that moment the other side of the story. You know
Right,
what I'm
right. You
saying?
just want to be
So if, so
heard.
if, so if I'm coming to you with
Yeah.
something, I know there's another side, and I know that the other side may not agree with what my side. But when you come to someone and you
Hmm.
come to somebody who is a friend, I would hope, or at least what I try to do is I listen, I give support, and then maybe down later in the conversation, I'll come and say, well, why don't we think about the other side? But that initial
Hmm.
that initial conversation, if I come to you, Danita, and I say, hey, I was having this problem with this person at work, right? and I explain the problem, and I'm mad, and I wish, so whatever I'm saying, you can say to me what I would prefer. What I would prefer, right, is for you to say to me, Dwayne, man, I get it. It's hard when somebody does whatever the person did or how you feel, and I understand why you're angry, and so be in the space with me. But if I come
Right.
to you and I
Right.
tell you the story, and as soon as I finish the story, you're like, well, she was probably thinking such and such. I don't want to hear the other side's person right then.
Yeah, because
I
it's
don't know.
almost like
I don't
it
know if that's just
validates
me.
your feelings.
I don't know if that's just me. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so that's sometimes a little frustrating, when that happens, and it puts you in a space where you're like, well, I mean, this
What's the
continually
point?
happens. I mean, this is what this is, you know, and you're like, well, I have people in my life who tell me the truth, right? I have those folks, and I would hope that all the people in my life really tell me the truth, but I want them to show some support for me initially before saying, well, okay, let's see how we can understand the other
Fix-
person's point of view.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
anyway,
Because it's almost like your feelings go, like you have no right to have the feelings that you had.
right.
Like you said it, okay, and so now let's fix it. Like you were wrong. Let's just jump and fix it.
Let's
Like
just move
okay,
on.
so yeah, yeah,
So
it's crazy.
yeah. And I mean, it's interesting. This week I did a show on my channel, where I talked about. Well, right now we're doing a series on balance, and this week we talked about leisure and productivity. Last week we talked about friendships, how to establish a community around you, and how to grow and so forth. And that's one of the things that we all need, is we need a group of folks around us that will speak truth to us. But in the same token, we want people around us that are sympathetic to us, and who will support us as we kind of grow together. So anyway, that's the thought.
It's a good thought.
That's a good
It's
thought.
a good thought.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
But I am actually enjoying the series I'm doing on my channel, on living life from the center, and I learn, just like we learn here as we have conversations. I learn so much as I am going through the process of kind of looking at different spaces of my life, looking at different people that are in my life, and how they, what our
Impact
interplay
you.
is. Yeah, how they impact me.
Mm-hmm.
Because our lens through which we see the world and the way we manage things come directly from, well, first of all, our family, right? Our family of origin. How did they do things? And then the circle of people that we have around us, how do
Right.
they do things? And we kind of pick up some of their behaviors, thought processes, some of their problem solving skills or lack thereof. So birds of a feather, they say, flock together.
Talk together. Yeah. They say that in everything. So it's so true. When you really
Yeah.
step back and look at it, you're like, that's not true. Yeah. It is. It is. It is.
Yeah. So they say, show me the five people you hang out with, and I can tell you who you are, what you do, what you think, and how successful you're gonna be.
Wow. Well, yeah. If you pick up everybody else's mannerisms and habits, then
Yeah. So,
yeah.
one of the stories I tell, or I told, is I recently, or within the last couple of years, decided that I needed to shore up, needed to expand, needed to reconnect with some people. Because
Mm-hmm.
because at this stage of my life,
Mm.
I I want I want lasting, deep relationships. Okay, so I'm reaching out and connecting, and okay, how can we do this? And there was one person I reached out to that we had been in the same space for a while, and then we both moved away. And so I called, and it was funny because I was so bad at developing this friendship that I called
Mhm.
and I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" Da da da. A couple weeks later, I called. Hey, we had a good conversation. Maybe 3 weeks later, I called, and finally he's like, "Okay, Dwayne, what do you want?"
Mhm.
Right? and I was kind of taken aback because I really didn't want. I guess I did want something, but I didn't want something. You know what I mean?
Right, but it was different for him because it's not something that has been happening for a very long time. So for
Right.
him, he's looking like, okay, what does this guy want? Like
What
he's
does he want?
calling
Right.
me constantly, right?
Right.
It's
And
consistent with it.
and it's funny, and I have to be honest. I've not called him again, and that was
You
about
got
6, 7,
offended?
7, 8. Not that I got offended, but I wasn't able to articulate what it was that I wanted.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So because I couldn't articulate it, I didn't want him to think I wanted something other
So you
than
you a
other
reconnection.
than this friendship.
But I mean, I think, but that you could have said that, but I think because he caught you off guard by saying, "What do you want?" Your brain went blank and was like,
Right.
"You know what? I'm not, I'm not even going
It's
to
like
do
I'm
this
out of
anymore."
there.
Right? Yeah, yeah. He scared you away.
I think that's what it is. But it's we talk and I'm gonna talk male female here in a minute. We talk about the courage that it takes for a guy to approach a girl,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it does take courage. I mean, it takes some fortitude, and if you do that all the time, it's not an issue, right? So if you're
Right.
used to like just walking up to some girl and start talking to her, it's not an issue. But if you talk to a girl every 7, 8 months, when that one says something that's negative, you're like, I mean, you take that on. But if you've been talking
Yeah.
to 100 people, I mean, this one says something crazy. I don't care about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think in my desire to now reconnect with people and kind of
Mm-hmm.
start reaching out, it was that same kind of thing where you reach out to a couple of people. And he wasn't the only one. There were about 3 or 4 guys that I talked to, and and you're right, when you get that one conversation and it catches you off guard, if you're not prepared to have the conversation, which I wasn't. I
He
just
shut
thought,
down.
this is what we always think. Yeah, we're just gonna do some stuff and it's gonna all work out. Okay, I thought, I call him 3, 4 times and all of a sudden we're gonna be kicking it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's but it's a
That's
relationship.
on your side.
That's on my
Your
side,
side.
right?
His side is
And
like,
those,
what the heck? What's going on?
he's like, I
And
haven't
he
talked to this
said
guy
it.
in 6 years, and all of a sudden he called me 3 times in 3 weeks,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you didn't know. Yo, first, second call, be like, dude, I'm trying to reconnect. I'm gonna be
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. But
yeah. So he know what's going on. But
right. But I was watching. So in this series that I'm doing, and as I tell people, I am learning stuff as I am also teaching.
okay.
Okay, so there are concepts, there are things that I am. So I've got this series that I'm doing, and as I am teaching the things I've learned in my life in the series, I'm doing additional research, right, to make sure that I am true to my craft, true to my
Mm-hmm.
creation, true to the content that I'm doing. So I'm not just coming out of my head. So, so I'm going out researching. And as I'm
Right.
researching, I'm learning a lot of new concepts.
Right. Right.
And
Okay.
so I was talking to a fellow content creator who made a very important point to me, which I think is sometimes lost. He said, "Man, sometimes I get on screen, and I'm teaching something that I learned this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like I just learned how to talk about a particular thing." And that
Mm-hmm.
thing, and so I'm in the process of teaching a series, and I got to include
And
that thing that
learning
I
as
just
you
learned.
go.
Right? If I'm going to be true to my audience, right? And I've
Mm.
got to say to them, look, guys, I am quote unquote an expert, yes, in this area, but there's so much stuff in this area that I'm also learning,
Yeah.
and I think we've got to be able to say that honestly, because
Mm-hmm.
if we can't, then the audience, the viewers, the people that we're talking to, they can sense it, right? And then they think also, well, Dwayne is perfect, so this is not
Mm-hmm.
for me,
Right.
right?
Right. The
Because I
authenticity
can't
is
do what he's
gone.
telling me because he's perfect. But
Right.
they've got to know that, yeah. This morning I was
Not
struggling with this
perfect.
very same thing.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, I didn't know, but I didn't know this morning, but I know tonight. So let me tell you what happened.
That's right.
That's this is what you got to
let me
with.
share let me share this with you. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I love about the space. And for instance, let's go back to you, Danita. Your fear journal that you did,
Yes.
it came out of a space where you were learning stuff, and in the process
Mm-hmm.
of learning, you're like, okay, let me write this journal, let me create this journal.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
I go
know,
back to it a lot.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's where it comes from. So yeah.
Cool, cool. So what else is going on in your world these days?
Nothing. Work
Hmm.
and the
Work,
kids. Kid.
work, kid.
That's it.
Yeah,
That
I know.
is it.
We got one of those.
Yeah.
But I look
Yeah.
at him, and he's growing, and there's both excitement. There's a little bit of anxiety, and I'm talking about for me, not
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
not him. This is me. There's some excitement about
Yeah.
that he's growing. There's a little bit of anxiousness as he's growing, as he's
Mhm.
venturing out, developing.
Mhm.
There's some pride that you feel, that I feel, as I watch
Mhm.
him, even when he does something that is not what I want him to do or the way I
Mhm.
want him to do. I'm
Mhm.
proud that he's able to talk to me and
Mhm.
say, explain. Say, hey, Daddy, I want to do that. I said, no, you can't do that. Okay, can I do that? And he'll explain it. And, I give him a chance. I say, okay, yeah, you can do this or this. I'll leave it up to you. I mean, not crazy stuff, but
Yeah.
things within reason. And then to see him make a decision, it may
Mhm.
not go the way he intended it to go,
Mhm.
and he's still able to kind of, and this is what I try to get him to do, is even if you
Mhm.
make the mistake, walk with your head up. So
Yeah.
so sometimes he'll want to kind of, something goes wrong, he'll turn, look
Mhm.
down. I said, no, 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 no. I said, I need you to look at me, right? Because you did something that didn't work out or something that's wrong, but that doesn't mean anything about you as a person.
Right. And
So
that's important.
you don't have to hang your head.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's good because we as grown adults do that. With things happen and we, hang our heads and then that causes a whole bunch of other issues. You get depressed and ugh. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to teach him now
Right.
so that he can just keep moving forward. So
Correct. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I have the same. My son is grown. Yours is growing. Mine is a young man, and I feel all the same things sometimes. But sometimes I feel anger though. But
Yep.
But all the same things.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
They are our pride and joy, and they are also things we worry about, or the people that we worry
Yeah.
about. Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
This,
Yeah.
this morning,
But
he was walking out the door. I think he was a little sullen about something, and I said, put my arm around it. And so
mm,
we do this thing. We say, "Who loves you? God, mommy, and daddy." And so
mm.
I hugged him. I said, "Who loves you?" He said, "God."
Oh, what happened to you? He
I
just
know,
said
I
baby to two.
know.
Like what happened?
And I squeezed it. I said, "Who else?" He said, "Mommy and daddy." I said, "That's right."
Oh, you see how fast when we feel a way, we tend to negate people
Hmm. Yeah,
just because of what we are feeling.
feeling at the time,
Like
right?
we just kind of
It took it completely out that circle. Like,
completely out. Like what happened? And it's just based on what you're feeling at the time.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see where he is and how he's growing, and yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you're out there, you got some
Good,
kids,
good.
man, just love on
Yeah.
them, and you teach them, the things that you think they need, and you
Mhm.
show them by example, right? Because a lot more things are caught than that are taught. So remember that. The kids catch a lot of
Mm,
stuff from us more than the words that we say. And I was talking
yes.
to my wife
My
this morning, and I was
goodness.
telling her, "Hey, there are some things in me that I know, and I see some of it in my son, and
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I thought I had dealt with that issue myself, but apparently maybe I have, but kids still they pick up on stuff,
They
right?
pick up on stuff.
They
They
pick up
do.
on stuff. So we think we're like doing stuff and they don't know, but they are so smart.
Hmm.
They are
Yeah.
so smart
Too
and
smart sometimes.
too smart sometimes.
So
So
like you
I've got
weren't
to.
supposed to
So
pick that
I.
up.
Sorry.
So you weren't supposed to pick that up. Like
Right.
what?
So yeah. So I'm working on some things that I want him. Or doing some positive modeling
Okay.
for him, so that as he leaves my house, and I said my function right now, my main function in my home is to make sure my son launches well, and to make sure that my wife and I are continuing to grow in our relationship. So those are my two functions, and as I, sometimes, so I'm busy doing so many things, right? And there are times where I say, okay, I can't do that. Like I'll come in here and I'll start working on a piece of content, and he's out because he loves Legos still, and we
Mm,
built him. I'm gonna have to do a tour
okay.
of his Legos. But so I built him a Lego table, and so anyway, sometimes he'll get out there, and I can tell when he's like he's thinking, because he's
Mm,
out there and he's piddling, and I'm in here doing some content or trying to create some content, and I'll look out and I'll see him, because
mm,
and I'll just stop what I do and I'll go out there and I'll just get on the floor and just be in the
mm,
space. Not
mm.
talking about anything necessarily, or teaching anything, or asking anything, but just be in the space with him.
Okay.
And I love that. And sometimes he'll talk. He'll, hey daddy, da, 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 da. Or did you see such and such? There's a Lego that he created, that represents me on his
Okay.
table. And so sometimes I'll say to him, how come you took me? How come you gave me a smaller house? My house was bigger. He said, well, that's because you didn't pay your rent. I said, well, nobody told me I had to pay rent. Or, why don't I get a helicopter? He's like, you don't need a helicopter. That's for the official people. I was like,
Mm.
I want a helicopter. So we'll have these kind of crazy conversations as he builds his city, and so it's fun. I was excited that I'm in the city right?
Mhm.
He was writing these comic books at once, and it was it Super Doc? I was
Mhm.
Super Doc, and so we talk about episodes of Super. I think that's what I was called, Super Doc. But
Okay, okay. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so one day I'll be, we can publish those. We'll be famous. But guys, this is a perfect place for me to say and take a pause and say, if you have not already done so, go ahead and give us a thumbs up for this video, this episode, if you like the conversations that we're having.
Mhm.
If you have not already done so, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That's Into the Woods. Into the Woods is what our channel is. And we talk about ourselves. As you hear, this is just some candid conversations that we have. And we want you to identify with the things that we are talking about. Because some of you probably are having the same kind of conversations, same things going on in your home, in your relationships. And we want to be a part of your group that helps you to move beyond where you are, right? We don't want us all to stay stuck. We want us to make sure that we are moving. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you'll get all the notifications when we do go live, and you'll be keeping up with us. So thank you for being here already. So yeah, were you talking about just random stuff, right? Really?
Mhm.
Child rearing,
Yes, brother.
relationships, and friendships, and all that kind of. It's hard to make a friend as an adult.
It is. I was scrolling and saw a YouTube thing talking about making a friend, making friends as a grown adult.
Yeah.
It is.
As
It's
kids,
because
you put two kids in the same space and they're automatically friends.
yeah, yeah. At least just talking, and that's it. But as adults, it's like I don't like you. I don't
Right.
know why I don't like you, but I just don't like you,
I
so I'm
don't
not
like
talking
you,
to
right?
you. So yeah, it is very
So,
difficult unless you have friends that you have like grown up with or you guys remain close. It's very hard to make friends as an adult.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
but it can be done. Let me say that it can
Of
be done.
course, of course, it
It
can be.
takes some time. It takes effort,
Hmm.
and it takes determination. So I got to go back and call my one friend.
Yes, and start saying, "Hey, listen. I'm trying to reconnect. Right?
Right.
I missed you over the years. That way he'll be like, "What you want, dude? Like, what's up?
Right.
You keep calling
Right.
me, and not saying nothing. Like, what? What you want?"
And I think I've told you this one friend that I've been reaching out to, and I guess I have not reached out direct. I started out reaching out directly. That was kind of an indirect, and he's in the public eye, and so yeah, he's one that and once again, here's an example of kind of me being in my head, right? Because as I'm trying to reconnect, I'm telling myself I don't want it to appear as though I'm reconnecting just because he is now in the public eye. You
Oh,
understand?
so that's what was happening.
That's one of the things that go through my head. It's like, man,
Okay.
and it's like, because he's been in the public eye for a while, and I haven't reached out. And I see him, but as I'm now kind of thinking back, like when I go to New York, and I think I said this to my mom. When I go to New York, I walk down the block where we used to hang out, because I've lost touch with a lot of those guys, to see if I maybe run into one of them or see one of their families, and I think they've all moved away.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we're gonna have make another attempt. We know what to do now.
yeah, we know what to do now, right? We know how what to do and how to do it. So.
Yes, 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 yes.
But I am like I said, I am continuing to have fun
Mhm.
in the spaces where I find myself.
Mhm.
I all the things that I do, all the things that I do. I mean, I'm thinking through my job, my day job. I'm thinking through my online things that I do. Thinking about stuff at church. All the things that I do right now, I have fun at. I
Good.
love what I do, and I have to say that that is because I've grafted in things that I like to do other than just work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I have an outlet now for so many aspects of who I am. Before I was an endocrinologist and I went to work and I did endocrinology. That's all I did. And in
That's all you did.
preparation for doing that, a lot of my life took over. A lot of that life took over other things that I
Okay.
know I like, that I, because I had to train, had to go through
Wow.
residency and fellowship, medical school, and so forth,
Mm.
start a practice. But now that I've started the practice, we're going to be 13 years old, our practice, by the way.
Yay.
Yay! um, I am excited that I can now start looking at other parts of me. And I
Mm.
think that's
Okay.
what's made such a big difference for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you pay attention to different aspects of you,
Hmm.
you're gonna change, which is
Right.
what we've been saying pretty much all year, guys. It's the end of the year, so yeah, we've been saying it all year that when you start looking at different aspects of yourself and try to improve and change, and you'll become a different person. You become
Right.
a happier person.
Happier person,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So cool.
yeah,
So love it, love it,
yeah.
love it. And my mom is here visiting. Our mom is here visiting with us, so we've been having a good time. We went out
Nice.
today and hung out with my mother-in-law. So I had the two of them together, or we went over to
Hmm.
her house, so we hung out over there for a while.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Nice, nice.
All right. So what do we want people to get from today, Danita? Why don't you give us a takeaway?
Look at different aspects of yourself. Call your friends. Tell them hi. Tell them that you miss them. And let's reconnect.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. And once again, guys, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit the bell. Drop us a line when you see us out there. Give us a thumbs up for this video, for this episode. And we will see you next week at the next video. This is Dwayne.
This is Danita. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. This is Into the Woods. Bye bye.